We bring in Brad Wenstrup, a member of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, former Ohio Republican congressman and retired Army reservist who served in Iraq. Thank you very much. Good to have you here today, sir. When you hear all this back and forth, and you hear these questions about the mission, whether or not it was completely successful, and then you get these assessments coming in from Iran and from Israel, what's your take?
Well, I think that we can rely pretty much on our own assessments by the forensics that we're able to gather from the air and other places. Look, the United States and Israel combined just delivered a 1-2 punch to Iran after 46 years of, to put it mildly, harassment and attacks on us. The president said no nukes. That's the mission, right? The mission is no nukes. So if you look at damage assessments, the real assessment is, are they capable of taking 60% uranium and making it 90% enriched uranium? Because that's what you need for the bomb. And then also you look at the physical damage. Our air surveillance is good, and we know the capabilities of the bombs that we dropped. We know what they're capable of doing. And when you see the fire and you see those other things, we have a pretty good idea. Now, what it's really going to take is the IAEA to be allowed in to go into Iran and to assess everything as they are supposed to be able to do. The Iranian parliament has just said and voted to have them not allowed in. That's going to be up to the regime. Then you can truly assess the capabilities. And we also want to look for the stockpiles of whatever they may have, reportedly 900 pounds of 60%. But also, let's assess the damage that has been done to them psychologically. You know, you go in while they're asleep and they've got their doors locked and this is their #1 prized possession. And we can take it out while they sleep and they don't even know what's happening. That has a huge psychological effect on their country, or it should. So we'll find out what kind of damage it did to them psychologically as they hold through this ceasefire. Are they willing to negotiate? You know, and we'll gather intelligence on that too.
Yeah.
But this is their forever war. It's a war of terror and traditional warfare that they've been out doing for many, many years, and they chose to involve the United States of America. And when the president was asked if he'd go and do it again, if they try to increase their capabilities or bring them back, and he said, sure. So I think we've got our answers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a leadership that is just based on belligerence and an aggressive front and a goal of achieving nuclear weapons. It's like the headline of what they have led. Promising to do, and this has set them back dramatically. I think everybody agrees on that. I'm curious, you know, you were in Washington for a long time. So this is a former advisor to President Obama, who also was alarmed about the enrichment that was going on in Iran and suggesting that it can't happen. They can't get a nuclear weapon. We have to stop them, although it didn't actually happen. Here's Ben Rhodes, his former national security advisor. Watch.
The Iranians probably move that stuff. If they have advanced centrifuges and they have high enriched uranium and they have scientists who know what they're doing, they have a nuclear program. It's not destroyed just because you drop some bombs on a few sites. So this did not work.
So you just mentioned the possibility that they moved some material that was enriched, and I talked to the IAEA director about that himself. But, you know, I just find it kind of rich that this former national security advisor for President Obama, who, you know, they opted to do nothing, is critical of this effort, which clearly has set them back dramatically.
Well, how about the irony that it was the Obama administration that gave the Iranians a lot of money to maintain their program, and maybe that was the money that was used to move anything if it was moved. And that's why we have to have some people on the ground, IAEA, to inspect everything. And if they're not forthright, then they still have a problem.
Yeah, that may be part of a deal that is worked out in the coming days. President Trump has said that he's had some discussions with Iran over the course of all this, and he will talk to them or his representatives again next week. Brad Wenstrup, thank you, sir. Always nice to see you.
You too. Thank you.